Wheat Nation, what's going on? Sharc Gaming here, back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you 5 attacking tips to score more goals in eFootball 2025 mobile. Let's go. So basically in this video, when I give you guys the tips, you're going to be able to overwhelm your opponents and score more goals, more than you've ever scored before. I would advise you guys to stay for tip number 5 because it's the most important one and it's probably the most efficient one. So tip number 1, find the best manager and play style that works for you. So just because you see players or YouTubers like me, or Liars FC, Muji Cool, Maki, Buff, and Nine play their own like I play quick counter a lot. Maki plays maybe long ball counter, Nine play possession, whatever. Just saying, like, just because you see them play it, it doesn't mean that will work for you. You have about 5 play styles that if I check it right now, you're gonna look at it and you're gonna realize that hey, you have possession gameplay, you have quick counter, you have long ball counter, out wide, and you have long ball. I personally can't really play long ball that well. I don't like possession gameplay, but I'll play them. But if I was supposed to get up and say, hey, I'm going to go try to take the game serious, I would play quick counter play style. So let me explain quickly what all of these play styles actually do. So for position gameplay, if you like to pass and you like to be patient and pick your passes up perfectly, position gameplay is for you. It's going to be playing with like a higher line, so you'd probably be susceptible to quick counter, which is pretty crazy because it's like quick counter is susceptible to position and position is susceptible to quick counter. So they're basically their own weaknesses but their own strengths at the same time. For quick counter now, quick counter is a one that the line is not too high, but it's a high pressing line, and it actually enables that as soon as you're on the attack, your players are making forward runs, but the shorter passes would work better. Long ball passes now, your players run a further distance, so longer passes will work better. So it's simply as if you're more like a Burnley, Stoke City, Southampton type of play style where you like to hoof the ball up, long ball counter and long ball would fit you very well. Now long ball is probably a different section of possession gameplay where you're playing more long passes rather than short quick tiki-taka passes. And then you have out wide now. Out wide is basically for cross spammers, which I don't have a problem with cross spammers. I'm simply saying that out wide is for cross spammers. So if you like to spam crosses, out wide is the most patient thing. You play most balls through the middle. You get a nice like a winger formation or a flank formation like a 4-2-2, 4-3-3, 4-2-1-3-4, 4-2-1-3, 4-2-3-1. You get any of those formations with a decent striker up top. You get somebody who can cross in the ball or have good lofted pass. And you use long ball counter, not long ball counter, you use out wide, and you guys are cooking something devious. So all you have to do is do that. And then for the formations, just because I'm using a 4-2-1-3 means that it will work for you. Maybe you like a 4-1-2-3, maybe you like a 3-2-3-2. Pick a formation that works for you. If you're not that good at defending, find a formation with 5 defenders. If you're very good at defending, hell, try your luck and find a formation with 3 defenders. Try your luck. If you're suffering in attacking, maybe you need to play a 4-2-4 versus playing a 4-4-2. Tip number 2, learn to do the pass and go. So basically how you do the pass and go is you press pass and you flick the dribbling stick. You press pass, flick the dribbling, press pass and simultaneously flick the dribbling stick. Press pass, flick the dribbling stick. Press pass, flick the dribbling stick. So what that does is that activates and tells your player to run forward. So that's basically what you want to do. Pass and go is actually the best way to indicate for a player who, I guess, at first wasn't able to make a run. Now they're making runs. So for example, if it's more like a defensive player, they can make a run now and they can get past like a defensive line. So for example, you have like a defensive player or you have a midfielder that maybe you guys have been passing the ball very well and you just do some 1-2 passes so they can make some runs, whether it's to distract the opponent or it's to get into proper like positions so that you can like score like specific goals. But tip, please do not overdo the pass and go. Don't pass and go every single pass, because what will happen is you'll actually play most of your players out of position, and if you play them out of position, then you're just opening yourself to get countered. You get me? So use the pass and go sparingly. Use it for only players that you see yourself actually, like if there's a case where there's a counter, at least you have a lot of numbers backwards. You don't really want to be in a situation where like you sent 6 players to move forward and now you've lost the ball and those 6 players are out of position. So use pass and go very wisely, please. Tip number 3, use curl shots more often. I've actually noticed while playing this game that the curl shots, like once you're inside the box, use the curl shot. You don't have to put too much on the curl. Like for example, all you have to do is really just, while you're in the box, you don't have to tap the shoot or anything. It don't matter what angle you are, just slowly curl the ball in and it's going to score. Less power is more. I don't know how it makes sense, but the less power that you apply to it is the more they score. So literally just use less power and more. But a bonus tip is when you're outside the box, you don't have to do the stunning shot. If you have enough time, do a stunning shot and more than likely it's going to score. But try to just put in maybe like a half bar of power outside the box without the stunning shot. Regular shot outside the box, you put it at halfway and they're gonna score a few bangers here and there. Trust me, like I've actually realized that long shots are scoring very like often in this game, and while you're in the box, just use curlers. So curlers inside the box and half bar outside of the box, and you'd be surprised as to how often you score goals in this game. Like, I've actually found that to be a very helpful tip recently, and I'm glad that I found it. Tip number 4. Learn how to dribble. Now, I am not the best dribbler in the world. If you actually want like a compact dribbling tutorial, please follow Buff Games and watch his tutorial. He's very good at dribbling. Me, I know that this is just practice, but this is what I do in a real match. Like you see this joystick right here that I'm doing, I use this to simply just turn the player away from these players. So you're running into them, you just turn and you make a move. It might enable you to like get into some space, so you turn and then you can sprint. You see, once you've like see yourself like passing the player, you can probably sprint. But the aim, or at least the trick with dribbling, is that you don't hold on to the sprint. You can use the sprint to activate certain skills. Like for example, I can use Messi and I can double touch. Double touch is actually the easiest skill to do. So you can actually, what you do is you press the dash and you swipe forward and it double touches. Double touches, if timed correctly, you can get past any player. That is true. But the thing is, if you don't want to do all of those skills, you just find a player that has very decent dribbling and you just get past. And literally, what you do basically is you just find a gap, you turn into that gap, and once you turn, you just sprint. And you sprint and you can get away from the player, and maybe you can get in a goal or two. It's as simple as that. So dribbling is actually not as complex as you think it is. You don't have to like dribble past everybody. You don't have to like do 10,000 moves. You don't have to be tapping the dash and spamming a move to get it. Those are good. If you want those extensive ones that teach you how to do the turn and whatever the case may be, go on Buff Games channel, go on 9hours channel, go on anybody who does skill things. I might learn them. I do them here and there. You guys see it. I've been very skillful recently. But as I said, I didn't even realize that the best way to score, the best way to dribble is actually literally just by using your joystick. Your joystick is very helpful as it pertains to like just doing skills. And as soon as you pass them, you just use the dash button and you'll be able to get past with ease. It's as simple as that. Tip number 5, and the most important tip yet. This tip has rescued me in most of my games that I have probably supposed to lose, was going to lose, and should have lost. If I am being completely honest, this tip is a cheat code, and yes, it can work. The tip number 5 is actually to use super subs. No, I know what you guys might say, that's not even much of a tip, but think about it this way. Super sub, once you're subbed on in a game, you automatically have boost for your players. So here I have a list of literally some super subs that are in the game. So for example, for people who didn't know that players had super sub traits, these are a lot of players that have super sub traits. You have Rafael Leao, you have Haaland for some cards, you have Keza, you have Coleman, you have Havertz, you have Inzaghi ball and turn, you have Weghorst, you have Rodrigo, Martinelli, Lautaro Martinez, Morientes, Telles, etc, etc, etc. Endrick, most of these players are actually super sub. So what happens is that you see when a game is tied, 0-0, or you're losing 1-0 or whatever the case may be, it's the 60th minute, 70th minute, what you do is you simply just get on and you're like, okay, remember that you have 5 subs. So imagine if you sub on 5 super subs, now your team is literally boosted because you have 5 players that are going to be playing exceptionally well. So what I'd do is, for example, I'd put on Keza, put Keza right wing, and then I'd put on Rafael Leao left wing, and then I'd put Inzaghi ball or Haaland. You can put Inzaghi ball, Haaland, or Inzaghi ball and turn Haaland or Rodrigo through the middle, boom. And then maybe you put like a Havertz in the attacking mid, and then for you probably put like a center mid player somewhere. If I have a center mid, I'm not sure if I have a center mid super sub, but let's just say for argument's sake, because Guti is a super sub all of a sudden, so I can put Guti in the center mid, and then let's just say I have a defender that is a super sub. I can put a defender around there. I don't think I have any defenders, but you know how, like, you're getting what I'm saying. Like, even Leon Bailey is a super sub. Like, it's literally just, it's adding. Like, you know, if you have a super sub defender, or if you can train on the super sub skill on the defender, it's going to allow for that defender to play better. It's going to allow for that defender to now defend better now for the next 30 minutes that is on the pitch. So this is actually a very important role. Like, there are a lot of times when Inzaghi come on. Well, first of all, he's coming on against tired legs, because most defenders are tired by the 60th, 70th minute. And then he's actually coming on in a, I should say, at an advantage, because now his skills are now boosted, because he's one sub down and two the booster. So trust me, this is actually like one of the best tips ever. Like, trust me, invest yourself in some super subs. You can get some free super subs. You can just go in the store and buy some super subs. You can literally get Danny Welbeck, you can get Anthony Martial, you can get Modric, you can get Leon Bailey. You don't have to like use coins to get these players. So these are actually very good players that you can get. Try to get them, try to use them, try to score goals with them. I'm out. I hope these tips are very like informative for you guys. Let me know in the comment section what other tips you guys would recommend, and tell me if you guys want me to make a part 2 for this video.